Hello, everyone, and welcome to Webinar Thursday with us here at DealerOn. I am excited to be here with you on this spring day. The pollen count is up, the allergies are back, and it is time for some spring cleaning. And I don't just mean my closet, which is scheduled for this weekend. We are here this month to talk about websites and how to tidy up some of those elements that can often be forgotten in our busy day-to-day lives. Not only are we going to help you spruce things up, but we have some fantastic tips and tricks to optimize for engagement and conversions. So thank you for spending this hour with us today. My name is Erin Zabarak. I'm your host and the Director of Marketing for DealerOn. I am excited to be joined today by our Senior Director of Product, Christina Quado.
Hello, I'm ready.
Are you ready? Oh my, here we go. She brought her cleaning supplies, no gloves, so we're not doing toilets, that's later. You're ready to clean up some websites?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, perfect. Let's see, a few logistics while people get settled in. We are recording the training today, and we will send you both the deck and recording after the webinar. I'm going to add a link to the deck here shortly where you can access that as soon as I stop yapping at you, and I can grab the link. So anybody who wants to follow along live, we will have that for you. You should see a question and answer section here in Zoom. I will be monitoring that, and we will answer any questions throughout the presentation today. So don't hold those and don't hold your comments until the end. Plug them in as we go. Hang out with me in that Q&A section. I expect some of you are going to have your own tips and tricks to share with the class. So the more, the merrier in there. Let's see, Tina, I'm going to get right to it. We have a lot to cover today, tons of screenshots and examples, lots of homework for everyone. So let's get started. I don't know about you, but I spend an aggressive amount of time on the internet, as do most humans, I think, right? I'm not alone.
No, you're not.
So what do we got? We got some data here on just experience, right? And how we're using the internet. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to start with some not so groundbreaking stats, but definitely important to keep in mind when looking at your own website. So 93% of internet experiences start with a search engine, most of them coming from Google these days. It takes only about 0.05 seconds to form an opinion, and 75% of customers judge a company's credibility based on their website. So it's imperative that your websites are not only visually appealing, but function well to aid in shopper experiences. So things like your site's taking too long to load, you've got poor navigation, no clear calls to actions, too many calls to actions, overwhelming shoppers. Those customers are going to find another place to shop, and we certainly do not want that.
No, and I'm real judgy. That 0.05 seconds, I think I have it beat a little bit, especially if I'm shopping online. If I'm looking to pay money, come correct.
Exactly. The mobile experience is also extremely critical. We all know that 70% or so of your traffic is coming from people viewing on their mobile device, but it's also really important to have a seamless transition between desktop and mobile or mobile to desktop when your customers are doing in-depth researching and purchasing on that desktop experience.
Awesome. So shopping, most people are online to purchase a lot of the times, probably too much if you look at my bank account, but same kind of stats here that you have for us. Nothing surprising, but it's important to remind us of it.
Absolutely. Yep. So 76% of shoppers value convenience. So make it easy for them to view inventory, find inventory, filling out less forms, and using simple labels and verbiage to find what they need, especially important in your navigation. 81% of us are looking for a frictionless experience on that cross-device transition and experience. 70% are shopping while multitasking. So not only important to focus on what's on your website, but how are your shoppers getting to your website? And are you providing the same level of experience and understanding, from your digital advertising efforts on Facebook, Instagram, and also looking at behavioral targeting both on the website and off website.
Yeah, I am never not multitasking, even in my leisure time, probably. So I think that's a really important one is how can you grab my attention here while my attention is also over here? But,
Absolutely.
a lot of non-auto learnings here, but listen, we're here to talk about dealer websites. And I think most of us are on our website every day, but that's not the same as your consumer, because you're on your computer every day, probably in the sales office, in your marketing office, and you've got the giant screen in front of you, probably 3, look like you work at NASA. But that's not the experience the customer has, because it's either here or here for the first time. So a really important exercise that we recommend, and if you haven't done this lately, do this today. Look at this, but talk to your family members. Have your parents, if you have teenagers in your house, they will for sure give you an opinion about your website. But have them try to purchase a car, or not a purchase, but go through, shop, browse. Where did they start? Don't give them your web address. Maybe they know it, maybe they don't. Did they start from a search engine? Did they land on the homepage? Did they hit straight to inventory? Take all of these notes into account, and I think a lot of that's really going to help shape how you look at the content on your site. So, because the thing is, your website, it is a salesperson. It is your digital showroom. We hear this term a lot. So when a customer walks into your showroom, they've got the road to the sale. You know what steps you've got to take them through to earn that purchase, to earn that close. Your website needs to take consumers through that digital road to the sale. So every step of that traditional process, you need to make sure is happening on your website and happening efficiently and effectively. The meet and greet, I said this just a minute ago, homepage is one place to enter your website, but on many, many of your websites, vast majority of customers are entering straight to the SRP or a vehicle details page. So making sure that those are just as critical. I see a lot of dealers focusing so much time on homepage, and it's important, but you're going to see us talk a lot about inventory pages today. Walking through, testing out your trade evaluation, your digital shopping tool, which I say shopping, not retailing on purpose. But then, of course, that close, it is the form fill, a click to call, hours and directions. All of those are kind of a lead. They all count. So keep this framework in mind throughout the session of everything that we're trying to accomplish on your website. Yes, leads, but we want to keep people engaged and kind of moving through that purchase funnel. So, all right,
Great point.
website. I knocked on the homepage a little bit, but let's start navigation, header, homepage. Let's get those basics out of the way here. What do you got for us?
You got it. Let's start from the top. So your navigation and header. Really, that is the where your shoppers are going to start to find things. So make it easy for them to find the things that they're looking for. We really recommend making inventory, new, and used the highest priority, and making your contact information also very easy to find, not only on desktop, but also that mobile experience. You're going to think that I am repeating myself all the time, but mobile, making sure that your phone number, your directions, a map are accessible to them as well. Talking a little bit about your sub-navigation options, and obviously within compliance and within reason, making sure that you limit the number of sub-navigation pages. We don't really want to overwhelm the shopper with so many options. We do realize that those OEMs love to push pages to us, but slim down where you can. Take a look at if you're showing old model years and cleaning up some of those pages and contents and maybe MRPs that are not needed anymore within your navigation. Something to include: certified inventory or links to EV-specific landing pages or filtered SRPs. Those are top of mind for consumers right now, so making that easier to access for them. Lastly, online scheduling service with one click away. Shoppers are there not only to shop for vehicles, but also for service and parts. So making it easy for those customers that may not be looking to purchase a vehicle, find what they need as well. And give the people what they want. Really review your analytics and your data to see what are your most clicked on pages and engage with pages, and make sure those are filtering up towards the top of your navigation items.
Perfect. We had a great question by Becky in the chat. She wants to see some homepage templates to look at to see different layouts. I'm sharing a link in that Q&A section that has a ton of DealerOn DealerOn demo sites. It's listed by OEM, so check that out. Sydney has a
Awesome.
question that I knew would come up. Is there a number of sub-navigation options you would recommend? And we get this question all the time. What's that magic number?
Yeah, I think you
Go
and I
ahead,
were
you're gonna
talking
say.
about it, maybe, 10 or less, right? And I think that's all going to depend on your program too. And how many pages. I mean, GM loves to push a lot of pages and traffic a lot of pages, but maybe some of the other ones you can keep, more slimmed down. But I would say around the 10 mark. Erin, would you
Yeah.
agree?
Yeah, 10 is like 10's the max I would
Sure.
do. But I think you're right. There's not a right number. There's a wrong number I'm about to type. And it is when I am on my mobile phone and I can't see them all on one screen. That's too many. So really look, and I think looking at the data, that's the best point on this screen to see where you should be focusing and what needs to be there. So streamline it. EV we have mentioned. Peter in the chat, listen, if EV doesn't make sense for your dealership, look at your analytics, look at your inventory mix. But I see some stores who have like 5 or 6 EV tabs. Does the customer need that, or can we accomplish it on one page? So really good stuff. I see more chat. I'm going to manage that. Take us through. I won't knock on the homepage anymore. You're going to give us some tips for that, right?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great segue to the homepage. I might say something a little controversial. I think Erin kind of already alluded to it, but don't spend too much time finessing your homepage. About 50% of your shoppers are entering from an inventory related page like your search results page or directly onto a VDP. It is an important page, but I think we sometimes spend a little too much effort here, especially given there's so many template options that not only DealerOn provides, but are, OEM program approved. You kind of you have the options for you, but making sure that they fit for how you're working at the dealership and how you want to focus your inventory sales or your service. Making sure that these key items are available for your shoppers, though, no matter what kind of homepage template you're planning to use. So again, clear and easy ways to search for inventory outside of your navigation. So as you see in this screenshot, we have a nice inventory search widget. On DealerOn sites, this is the most engaged with component on the homepage. It's front and center. It's right above the fold. It's getting the shoppers what they came, to view. You can search by vehicle, keyword, or budget. Providing shoppers the ability to search by budget has become even more important. Shoppers are budget conscious. They know a little bit more about what they can spend on a monthly basis rather than a lump sum. So we're seeing a lot more engagement across our websites with payments and budgeting shopping. And again, above the fold content, making those key pages and items that you want your consumers to see above that fold, whether it's on desktop or on mobile. And so again, that's really an inventory search. Maybe you want to highlight special offers, scheduling service. But again, take a look at those most engaged with pages and how you want to show them above the fold content.
Yeah. Perfect. No, good stuff. I'm sorry, I was getting lost in the chat. There's really good
That's
conversation.
okay.
It's exactly what I was hoping. I made you promise we wouldn't get too nerdy on the presentation, that we were going to focus on the look and feel, but I think we have some technical stuff coming up
Awesome.
next,
Let's go.
right? Okay, do that. I'm going to stay in the chat. We've got a lot of questions on inventory. We have inventory stuff for days.
We do. Hang tight. We just got to get through some of this nerdy stuff.
You have to clean the toilet and the bathtub before you get to do the fun stuff. Okay, so that's what we're doing.
A couple things I also want to highlight here is making sure that your banner artwork is seasonal. I'm seeing a lot of March Madness banner artwork now. I think that's awesome, really leaning into the world of NCAA basketball right now. But maybe you want to lean into spring savings, right? So making sure that you always have something seasonal and timely, and then taking that down, right, when March Madness has passed. No one wants to keep seeing those banners. We have great tools that you can schedule these ahead of time. Or kind of set, time limits so that they then fall off and takes the work off of your plate to remember.
No.
All right, getting into some of the nerdy stuff, as Erin says, 63% of your customers will bounce from your site if it loads slow. You're spending thousands of dollars each month to drive traffic to your site, only to drive them away with a poor experience. If nothing else, pay attention to this slide. Ensure your pages have relevant and descriptive structured data to help Google better understand your site's content. Structured data is one of the ways to help your pages rank higher in Google searches. Mobile first indexing is also prioritized by Google. DealerOn websites are built mobile first and built with a focus to simplify navigating with tap and touch friendly targets. What about GTMs? What are GTMs? They are called Google Tag Manager, and this is often when we see a lot of third-party vendor code and analytics on websites. It is imperative that you work with your website provider to audit all the GTM IDs on your website, scripts, iframes. They are essentially black boxes to your website provider. So if you are a DealerOn customer, please reach out to your CSM or DPS to conduct an audit if you have not done so recently. This will tremendously help with site speed performance and those Core Web Vital scores that I know a lot of you pay attention to, and so do we. When possible, also work with your native website solutions for digital shopping and chat tools. We know there's a lot of options out there. We also know there's a lot of program compliance around them, but when possible, use those because those also really help with site speed and Core Web Vitals since they're natively integrated. Ensure your images are lazy loading. That's something that your website provider should be doing for you already, but good to ask the questions. And if you plan to add a video to your homepage, ensure it's compressed or in a GIF format, again, with site speed in mind. Buttons that are also native to your SRPs and VDPs, or just buttons generally on your page, but open to a third-party tool, such as chat or digital retailing or scheduling, are preferred to keep the interactivity or interaction to next paint, INP, for those Core Web Vital geeks out there. That keeps it low. So working with your website provider to have those native buttons and then opening up to the third-party tool if you are choosing to use that.
Yeah, so Lisa has maybe my favorite comment so far, challenge extended to everybody. GTM, you should only have one, your own, then you get third-party GTMs added to it. So listen, I love the boss mentality. I think really making sure you're working with vendors, the right partners. At DealerOn, we have on marketplace, so we are committed to partnering with other providers out there to make sure that when we are adding code to your website, we're doing it natively when possible, and of course, to make sure that we are never negatively impacting site speed. So the nerdy stuff matters. We're going to always talk about it, right? I promise.
I mean, it's something that you and your shoppers care about, so we have to address it.
It is. And compliance, listen, we got to keep us out of trouble too, right?
Yes, we certainly do. Making sure that you understand privacy and accessibility laws that impact your shoppers. They vary state and local and federal, making sure that you are aware of them. And just giving you some tips and conversation points to have with your vendors. So reviewing your consent management solution to ensure that your first-party cookies are classified correctly. I often see critical site functionalities not categorized correctly and therefore negatively impacting your customer's experience when something inevitably doesn't work. How are your vendors supporting the compliance big 5 pitfalls of accessibility? How are they addressing missing alt text for images and iframes, poor color contrast, keyboard navigation issues, missing form labels, and missing, misleading, or redundant link text? This is something that your vendors and website providers should be doing out of the box for all of their platform code and tools. But good for you all to know, to have those questions to ask. How are you keeping my site and my tools accessible?
Awesome. Okay. Can we get back to fun stuff, please?
We can.
Okay.
We can.
Well, inventory, that's what the chat is happening. People want to know what's the right stuff, what needs to go where. I'm going to say this, and it might make some people angry, but I'm not building your website for leads necessarily. I'm going to get you leads.
What?
We're going to get leads, we promise. But you can't get a lead without getting engagement first, meaning nobody is going to your website going, where's that form so I can give the car dealer all my personal info? That's all I'm looking for is the form. No, they are looking to engage with your website. So if you build the content and your inventory pages specifically for engagement, that will turn into leads. So digital retailing, which I don't like that term because I don't think customers are looking to make their purchase all the way online. But they are looking to start gathering information. They want to, you said it earlier, payment. Not a lot of cash buyers out there. So help me take ownership of that vehicle. Help me go through that process. So making sure that everything is designed for that. We're going to talk about SRP filters. I don't go to inventory and, look, oh, third car right in front of me. That's the one I want. I want to change. I want to look at color. I want to look at the trim, maybe, how customers are engaging with the filter and how easy you make that will impact leads through that engagement. And then photos. Somebody asked a question about photo data and metrics. We track scrolls. That's what Google Analytics 4 does. That's what some of the ASC standards can help you do. And we see inventory with 16 to 19 actual photos, not stock photos, get the most engagement. Those vehicles are. So yes, actual vehicles are important. And all of this and this is going to lead to those leads, which is what we really want. So good stuff. SRP is where it starts, right? Search engine or search result. Oh my gosh. Search. I put the
Search results page. Yes, we're
yes.
going to start there. And Erin, if there are any specific questions in the chat, just shout them out and we can discuss them as we're going through. But here are a few tips for your SRP as it relates to kind of just general information. Then we'll dive into some specific areas. So first, are you using your website, your own website, as an internal inventory search tool? And have you added things to your SRP that a shopper might not need? And I'm looking at stock number, model code, VIN even. Yes, I know you need to have it in some areas, but are you adding all of those other pieces of information that might be more useful as you are going through your own website in your own process? Or could we move it to the VDP where there's more information? Erin mentioned this, but 80% of mobile photo activity is related to the actual dealer photos and not stock. Super, super important that you have up-to-date photos for all of your inventory. Shoppers want to see the actual vehicle, and especially on used vehicles, right? They want to know, how the seats are looking if it's a few years old. Big box stores like Amazon and Walmart allow for comparing and saving inventory, and customers expect this feature on your sites as well. So making sure that these features are enabled to encourage engagement and repeat customers. They're highly used. And honestly, if we're going back to the dealer tool example, I think Compare Vehicle is also a great tool that you can use on your own in your in-store process too. Let's take a look at these two price stack examples here on the right-hand side. Same vehicle, one is expanded with information, the other one is collapsed. Think of that view if someone's looking at this vehicle on mobile. They'd have to scroll and scroll a little bit more to find that CTA, to find where they want to go next. Making it simple within compliance and within reason if you can collapse some of the information. Your DealerOn websites make this very easy with the more and less one click to expand and collapse that information. We really recommend having that collapsed by default so that it's all of the prime information that a customer wants, that price, that savings, access to payments, and your CTAs are right in sight without having to scroll and get confused where they all line up, especially on mobile.
Yeah, perfect. I think that illustration, that's huge. Looking at how big that is with all the incentives. I get it. You want to show well the listings. I'm not making price decision on the SRP, not yet. So having it available to be compliant to your point, but if I have to do this twice to see a second vehicle, that's too much info. It's too much. So having minimal info here, moving to the VDP for sure. Still lots of conversation about actual photos. Jake, I'm about to type, build your process for photos. And my process, back when I was a Chevy dealer or a single point, I would have the lot attendant take photos after a new car went through PDI. It's the cleanest it's ever going to be. And the lot kid that I had, he truly loved doing that. Like, it was a fun extra part of his job. He uploaded it straight to our inventory tool. And that way we always had those new fresh photos. So it will pay off with the increased engagement and with the increase in lead count. So building that process in-house, you can outsource it for sure. But you probably have more humans in your store who'd be willing to take those photos and get quality ones than you think. So really good stuff. I'm so angry at myself for the header on these slides that I don't know what my brain was doing, that it says search engine results page. I promise I'm not an idiot. Yep, you just look at something so many times and it makes sense in your brain. So
Okay, we're not here to focus on the header. We're here to focus on calls to action right now. So I think what a lot of people want to know too, what should I do on my SRP for these CTAs? Our recommendation is to keep them minimal, 2 to 3 CTAs at most. And you always want to have your click to call on mobile, right? Move any non-VIN specific CTAs to an inline ad or a banner. Things like valuing your trade, financing options, overall warranty information. That is not VIN specific. Get that out of a CTA on your SRP. Utilize banners, utilize those inline ads too. A shopper will see it. It'll be a nicer looking ad like you're seeing here than just a regular button, and they'll click on it to value their trade, as an example. Getting into some of the data here that we have, customers are more likely to engage with confirm availability verbiage than check availability, and 130% more engagement to be exact. We also see view details having 67% more clicks than more details specific to the SRP. So slight tweaks in verbiage can have a huge impact on engagement. All right, Erin, I think you've got this last one here.
I do. I feel passionately about this. The button words matter. You hit on a few, confirm availability. I feel like we've grown out of it in the last 15, 20 years, but get e-price is a big one that a lot of dealers like to improve lead count, but then they treat that lead like any other lead when it hits the CRM. So don't offer an e-price unless you're going to give one, number one. But words matter. If you're going to promise something in your button, like confirm availability, when your internet team, when your BDC is emailing that customer, the first thing you better say to me is, I see you want to confirm availability. Yes, this car is in stock. So just make sure that the promise you're making on your website, it's going to get fulfilled. And I feel like that guy is pointing at me. He's pointing at you to say, make sure you are really going to do that and fulfill it. So let's see. Tony has a great comment. The SRP is the new VDP. A well-designed SRP will convert. You don't need 10 CTAs, to your point, Tina, just a few there. Banners. Will wanted to know, and back when we were talking homepage, what are our thoughts on sliding banners? So he removed them a few years ago, hasn't seen any real difference in traffic to the SRP. It's not negatively impacting, but he sees a positive impact on load time. So Tina, what are your thoughts on those banners on the homepage? I think this is a better place for a lot of that, right?
Yeah, certainly agree. I think, especially on the homepage, we typically see a lot of sliding banners, 5, 6, sometimes 10. And we know there are a lot of programs out there that like to traffic many banners. And you know what? Shoppers are not scrolling through to see all the banners. They're looking at the first one. Maybe if they're still on the homepage, that second one automatically slides in, but they're not really engaging with this. So Tony, totally agree with your comments there. And it does impact your site speed because now you're only loading one asset rather than 10.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Are we moving to VDP? We're cruising right.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. We got more.
We've got more on filters and sorting. So Erin, you hit on this a little bit. But making sure that you understand how you can rearrange your filters, right? Moving up the most used and relevant filters for your customers. What we're seeing, body type, MPG, year, make, model, trim, and condition are the most engaged with. I would also encourage you all to move up your color, features, and price and payments to increase engagement with these also really important vehicle attributes. Utilizing generic terminology, so kind of going back to making things approachable with your labels and verbiage within your filters, specifically around drivetrain and transmission. If you're a DealerOn customer, we have some options for generic drivetrain and transmission filter verbiage, like you can see in this screenshot. Keeping those details on the VDP, right? There's room to have the very specific drivetrains on your VDP or transmissions on your VDP. Making sure that you're enabling the option to have your shoppers sort by savings. You can also make this a default option too, to have your inventory sort by highest savings. Again, with your shoppers being payment and price and budget conscious, allowing them to see your best deals first. Give them what they want to search for, those deals. And again, just reviewing your sorting options, both new and used inventory.
Yeah, I love, this is a recent enhancement on our websites, Tina. I know you talked about this, but the colors, making it bigger, bolder, easier to click with.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
yeah, and that goes back to our mobile first approach, having large tap friendly targets and kind of generic colors there, because azure blue and oyster pearl white
fancy
is
name.
very fancy names. They have a place, right? But not when I'm filtering.
No, I don't know what it is. I just silver metallic, and it's gray. It's fine. No silver, but no, love this. This is one that people forget about a lot. So if you haven't looked at how your default filters are set, this is homework for you. We expect you're going to be working with your support partners here at DealerOn to make some requests. I told them we'd keep them busy this week. So yeah, no, let's do it.
All right, now I think we're getting into the VDPs, right? Title and price. So keeping and considering a sticky sidebar for title, price, and CTAs. We also call this 2-column scrolling over at DealerOn. And as the shopper scrolling down your VDP to view additional details, features, dealer comments, vehicles they also might like, that title, price, and CTA stays sticky and constant in view. So they always have a reference point to the price and payments, and always have a reference point to convert. Here is where you want to consider adding stock number or VIN for easy access, not only for you at the dealership, but also your customers. If they're calling in, referencing a vehicle, it's easy to reference by stock or VIN, but you have the space on the VDP to do it. We recommend putting it here. Photos. So just like the SRP, although slightly more, 82% of photo activity on the VDP is with actual photos. Again, really honing in on the point, making sure that you have up-to-date, clear dealer photos, not stock. Making seasonal updates, right? If you have used vehicle inventory and you shot it in the winter and you're in a location where you get a lot of snow, but you're looking at your site in July, the vehicle hasn't moved. I don't want to see snow. I know as a consumer that vehicle has been sitting on your lot for a while. So making sure that you're taking updated photos. You could also utilize tools to remove some of that snow too digitally. And review natively integrated 360 spin providers. I, as a shopper, want to kind of see the walk around of the vehicle, interior, exterior. There's a ton of great products out there. And DealerOn is natively integrated with many of them, with site speed impacts and Core Web Vital scores in mind. The native integrations also really help with onboarding and support. And calls to action. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, just a lot of that on the video with AI. We're getting a lot of questions about data. I'm typing it in here, but we are going to be publishing some insights here in the next few weeks. Tina and I have been working with Colleen Harris on some of those filter things from the SRP, and then what is it getting engaged with on VDP. So stay tuned. So if I answer you, it's coming. I promise you it's coming, because the data matters, but the native integrations, we're hitting on that again. And then we talked call to actions on SRP. VDP is where your buttons go. This is where all the stuff comes, right? This is where customers are ready. Now they've drilled into the car. So this matters most. I know I cut you off, so I'll let you talk about it.
No, you're hitting it right on, Erin. So just reviewing your CTAs, obviously having more room to add additional CTAs if you'd like, but look for redundancy. I think that's the biggest thing I see. Having redundantly named CTAs or calls to actions and forms that are really asking for the same information. So making sure that it's streamlined here as well. And also working to spot check in your CRM that the different forms are treated differently and how are you treating them differently when they come in, to Erin's point earlier.
Perfect.
Erin, anything else on VDPs that we can hit on before we move along?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I am behind. Everybody's got such good tips and good comments.
Anything to share with the class?
Everybody love the good comments on words matter for CTAs. So I think that's good. Jessica has a question. Can you explain how the featured vehicles sort option works?
Featured vehicle sort option.
We might need to take this offline. I think I'm going to take that offline to make sure that I'm understanding, because I'm not, and I'm moving too quickly. Will says it snows in July where he's at, so maybe he's going to take this AI tip to remove the snow. I've not heard that. I've heard of get your butt back out there and take a new picture, but the AI tool is probably a smarter way to do it.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yes, absolutely. VDP, check availability. Do button colors change on DealerOn websites? Can we change
make them
all of that?
We have different options where you can change colors, change sizing. Absolutely.
Perfect.
All within your template, but it is an option.
We're gonna make sure we're not getting you in trouble. Yes, that is for sure. Okay.
All right.
VDP, we talked EV earlier. And we had one of our guests, I want to say it was Peter, had 30 to 40% of their inventory is EV. So this one's for you here.
Awesome. Really cool to know. So obviously marketing and selling EVs are challenging that most of you face. But adding information to detail state and federal incentives, shopper personalized savings, being able to compare EVs to ICE vehicles, battery charging options, trip planning options. There's a ton of really great vendors out there. And we've partnered with one of them, Erin, Lightflow.
Yes.
Just to name one, but they are providing really great information for shoppers that is just giving them more knowledge and information around EVs in general. I don't think EVs are going away. We all have a lot of inventory of EVs right now. So make it a little bit more digestible for your consumers to get the same type of information and even more than what you're traditionally showing for ICE vehicles.
Yeah, the VDP is a fantastic place, and some of these savings ways to see and compare EV to non-EV, to look at all of it. Yeah, it's not going away, to your point. We talked earlier about how many different pages you might have on your website with EV information, but I really wonder if it's on the VDP. So we do have a solution for this. If you're interested in information, webinars@dealeron.com. And I can help you out with that. But look, again, from the consumer's lens, it might not be your favorite topic, but it might be your shopper's favorite topic. So make sure you've got it covered.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving on to another hot topic, personalization. More than 66% of customers are comfortable with sharing information with the brand as long as it's offering them a better experience. And nowadays, in my opinion, a better experience is synonymous with personalization. I'm going to start with some results first. Shoppers receiving personalized content spend 154% more time on site. Let that sink in. And sites with personalized content can see over a 60% increase in engagement and conversion boosts of 150%. Showing me what I want will result in more engagement and ultimately leads. I am so guilty of being targeted for things on Instagram. I'm an avid gardener. So starting that up this weekend, I am getting ads and information around gardening tools, making sure that you understand your shoppers and providing them valuable recommendations on your website. So showcasing vehicle recommendations based on their browsing behavior. So what filters are they engaging with? What vehicles are they viewing? What vehicles have they saved? And providing really supercharged vehicle recommendations to them.
Yeah, this is the example I always use is I worked with Nissan dealers for quite some time. And if I'm a Titan shopper and I hit your inventory and you show me a Versa, no, that's not even remotely close to what I'm looking for, but show me some trucks. And that I already feel more at home, that's what I'm used to. It's creepy adjacent is what I said when we talked to the Asodu guys, I think. It's a little Big Brother, but I think
People expect it these days,
totally.
right? I value that. And a lot of other shoppers do too, right? Show me what movies I'm interested in because I've watched other stuff,
Yes,
right? Maybe I'm
exactly.
going to find something that I wasn't naturally going to find on my own. Make it easier for me to find what I like.
Perfect. Yes.
Pinpointed targeting,
Hmm.
also personalization, utilizing geofencing targets to target and showcase personalized offers. So I love the example of creating kind of a fence around a college campus and giving a $500 off coupon for a recent college grad. Another great example to use geofencing targeting is targeting a local hospital, serving healthcare worker coupons and incentives, targeting your competition or a local auto body shop and using conquest offers or offering a free oil change. DealerOn customers have a lot of options when it comes to geofencing and personalized offers to serve. Personalized pricing. We spent some time talking about pricing and payments and budget, but providing your shoppers the ability to adjust their estimated payments to their financial situation, allowing them to provide their credit score, adjust their down payment, integrating trade and financing tools to allow for individualized estimates. We're seeing on our websites 67% of the clicks within your price stack are engagement with payment options. So if you have finance and lease payment options on your SRP or VDP, making sure that they're the default view. And if not, reach out to your DealerOn representative to make that change now. People want to see and engage with payments.
Yes, yeah, it's really important. Again, we hit on it earlier. Cash, show me the cash price. Great, it matters ultimately, of course, but I need to know monthly what that's going to be. And especially now, especially with interest rates high, especially as inventory is going to be fluctuating with everything that's happening out there. So making sure that payment information is front and center, because that's what people are engaging with. Payment calculator still gets a ton of engagement on websites. So if you know they're willing to use that little tool, make it easy and pretty. And DealerOn's got a lot of options to help dealers with that too.
We sure do.
Oh.
All right, specials. We are coming up towards the end of the month here. And do you have a process to make sure that specials and promotions are always on your website? Too often, I know this is something that Aaron always says, but too often do we see no specials found, no results found. In this day and age, you should not have that happen, right? There's so many different automation features available to help you create creative and create specials. Utilize those tools, utilize scheduling tools, as I mentioned before, right? If you've got time now or you have time mid-month, start creating those specials for the next month if you can, and schedule them ahead of time. Making sure that your specials also have specials landing pages. Those create incredible SEO value, drive traffic to them. On DealerOn sites, our landing pages do not change for our automated specials, so a great tool there. And utilize specials in your dealership process. There are ways to have the specials get added to your Google Wallet or Apple Wallet. Easy way for customers to download those and have them stored on their phone when they come into your store.
Awesome. I am very passionate about specials. I know how busy it is at the end and beginning of a new month. And specials are almost the last thing on your mind, especially as we're waiting for incentives to be announced by the OEM, especially as things change. And it can often be a few days into the month. But your customer who's looking to buy a car on the 2nd of the month doesn't want to see no specials found. You always have specials. So making sure you have, information on the site, having these specials push off your site too, and the SEO value, to your point, Tina, about the landing page. This is all really important. And again, DealerOn has some fantastic tools to make your lives easier. I think I'm going to give you some info on that here at the end for sure. But
Erin,
I promise.
It's your time to
I
shine now.
know. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm still behind in the Q&A. I love the Q&A chat. It's my favorite. I'm sorry you're not hanging out there with us. You're busy being smart here. But listen, don't forget fixed ops. I started as a cashier in this business. I was a file clerk out in the service drive with all the colored tabs on the folders for anybody who still remembers those. Most of your customers coming to your website are looking to buy a car, but many are not. And the average age of a vehicle out on the road is the highest it's ever been. This number is actually from 2023 Google, 12 and a half years. I bet you it's a little higher even now. So giving customers easy access to the things that matter most. Schedule service online, we talked about in the navigation and header. That should be one click away, always, for a customer anywhere on your website. And pricing and specials, we hit the importance of specials for your vehicles, but having service specials is really crucial too. As a part of that delivery process, you can help to bring those customers in, coming back for that first oil change. And then BTOB, we're going to talk about that a lot. Brakes, tires, oil change, batteries. I got to tell you, I, for the first time in my whole life, got my oil changed at a Jiffy Lube last year because I never have. I'm a dealership girly through and through. I want to know the professionals are taking care of it, but their website's lacking information. So making sure that your customers know, here's what we've got for oil changes. Tires, people don't all know they can buy tires from you. So make sure that information is on your website. The OEMs have fantastic pages and resources to help with this. So use their info. So creating content that shows customers why they should choose you. They expect a little higher price from a dealership, but explain what they get with that. It's those OEM, parts, exactly. It's the certified technicians, master techs, all of that information, build value. Because again, they might not know a battery can be purchased from you. I know it sounds weird, but they might just be ready to go to the corner shop, the independents. We want to make sure you get that business. So having this information on your site. And one of the easiest ways to do that and best, and again, SEO value for days, is here on the next slide. It's FAQ pages. So this is a page that not a lot of dealers have built. But if I give you any homework today for fixed ops, it's this. You have questions coming in every day. I can guarantee your service advisors are answering the phone, and it's customers who want to know the same information. If they call in and ask a question, somebody at home has that question too. So putting it in real talk on your website, that's going to help the next customer, of course, but that is SEO gold because that is what the search engines are looking for. Look at the review feedback you got. What service capacity do you have? I hear from a lot of shops, we're good. We don't need more business. What a wonderful problem to have. But still building this content, again, is going to help the search engines. And it really does help consumers. I'd rather get my info from the dealership. Answer the Public is a good resource. Here's a bunch of information. If you're looking for that Q&A stuff, I think you can farm this from your team, but a lot of good tips here. So that is my spiel.
Now I'm getting lost in the chat, Erin. Great tips and
you
comments.
Snuck in there.
I did.
It's too much fun. I know. We'll invite you back next month just to hang out in there while you're not presenting. So perfect. All right. We're doing great on time, Tina. I am proud of us here. What do we got next? Resources?
I think so. Yeah.
We did it. Okay. So we've covered a lot of stuff today, but we're going to send you the deck. I already promised, but we are going to send you this resource too. Look at all those words. This is your spring cleaning website checklist. All of these topics are covered. This is hitting you all in your inbox later today with the recording of this session and the deck. So this is your to-do list. There's some big items on there and there's some easy to tackle. So print this out, have it at your desk, share with your team. I'm really excited. The team worked really hard on this. So shout out to everybody here at DealerOn who helped put that together. You can tell us how much you love it when you follow us on LinkedIn and when we post about it later today. We talked a lot about things you need to have and accomplish on your website. DealerOn is here to support. So one of the things we talked a lot about is the importance of giving customers payment information and making that easy. So Price Stack is our tool. I'll go ahead and slide, Tina. I see you got lost in the chat. You handle that. I'm going to handle this. Price Stack. This is DealerOn's solution to giving customers that buy, that lease, all of that information here on your inventory page. So we integrate fully. This is something that we see tons of increased engagement, and that engagement is going to lead to leads. So again, if you are not utilizing Price Stack, email me at webinars@dealeron.com and we will get you going. Let's see, what else did I promise I was going to talk about? What's next? I forget. Symphony specials.
Yes.
So those automated specials, you want to make sure you have something on the first of the month when incentives are still in flux. Symphony Specials takes care of that for you, and it is automated, which is fantastic. You also mentioned the geo-targeting. There are so many elements to our specials tool, pushing things out to GBP, those unique landing pages. This is something, if you are not utilizing Symphony, you've got to. This is my favorite DealerOn thing. I've gotten used to all the new products as I joined the company, and this is my favorite. So if you're not using Symphony, I want you to reach out to me. And then finally, the last thing is that personalization and the importance, which is Signals. We want to deliver and help you deliver personalized content. And Signals does that with banners, inline ads, for you recommendations that are filtered for customers. Lots of fantastic things. If you're not using Signals, then you are definitely missing out on that Big Brother creepy adjacent stuff on your website. I know. I shouldn't call it's your baby. I shouldn't call your baby creepy.
Not creepy. It's expected now.
It is expected. Did I miss anything on those?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. We did great. All right. And then
join us next time.
I know. Well, next time
it won't be me.
You're hanging out in the Q&A, so you're locked in for that. But I will be joined by one of our SEO leaders to talk about local and organic search. So now that we got your website all cleaned up and in line, we're going to get you showing up more out on the search engines, and it'll get a little nerdy. I told him he's allowed. That's fine. But that will be in Thursday. We'll make sure Thursday, April 24th. We will make sure everybody can register there. So, all right. We got a few minutes. I'm coming back to the chat. Anything we need to talk about live?
I don't believe so. There was maybe a question for you on service and parts FAQs. Yeah.
Jessica, we have FAQs on our service, parts, and body shop pages. Is that beneficial? All on one page? That's a great question. I think one page, put it all in one area, but make it, make sure it's formatted properly. Maybe a little drop down where you can scroll to the section that you want. I don't know that you need 3 pages. Again, think about your navigation. How is that looking there? If you can have it in one place and let the customer source what they want from there, that's what I would do. I see a really good question by Anonymous. Anonymous, tell me who your name is. I really want to know in the chat. What advice do you have for a beginning marketer in this industry? What are the top things I should be aware of? It is a broad question. And now off the top of my head, my big thing is get on LinkedIn and always be learning, always be reading, learning from others, connect with your fellow dealers across the country. Maybe you're not going to make best friends with the dealer across the street, but make some friends out there where you can compare information. Conferences. So we are going to, Tina, I'm going to be at DMSC in April in Arizona. Actually, if anybody's considering going, let me know. I might have a ticket or 2 left. So send me a message here today before this is over. And let's see, but we'll be there. You're going to be at a SoduCon in May.
Will.
We're hoping to be at Digital Dealer, so get involved in the industry is my #1 tip. But things you should be aware of is start with the data. Always look at where the data is driving you to. Tina, what's your hot tip for digital marketers?
Ooh,
I know.
you
It's a
kind of
good
took them
one.
all, Erin.
I know.
I think just to echo, asking questions. I love the LinkedIn answer. I'm relatively new to this industry as well. I still feel like I'm learning every day. But yeah, just utilize resources, talk with people
Yes.
who've been in the industry, auto especially, super tight knit and very niche. But once you get to know a couple people, your world kind of expands. So make
Yes.
connections.
Perfect. I see anonymous EV charging stations added to the dealership features page with light flow. They do have charging stations available, and that information goes to your website. The tool's really slick. If you want some info, email me. I can set you up with information. I see some of these notes. Yeah, if you're on here as anonymous, I can't follow up with you and send you info. So send me an email. But Tina, I think we hit the end of our time here. This is fantastic. If I
This
missed a
is.
question and I owe you an answer, email me, I promise. I told you it'd be lively in that Q&A because you did a great job, Tina. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you,
All right.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye.